Hey guys, welcome back to Kendi Beauty. So today we are going to be taking a look at the new Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Foundation. We're going to be taking a look with it by itself and then also comparing it to what many of you guys have been saying is very similar to the Lady Gaga Haus foundation. If you guys are new here, thanks so much for watching. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, tap the bell so you can be notified of all the new upcoming videos, and let's get right into this. Okay, so this does retail for $42, which is very, I feel like, fair in price compared to, you know, higher end foundations. And there's, I believe, over 30 shades. This is made in the USA and it is a 1 ounce, 30 milliliters. And the description says that it's a natural finish, hydrating, liquid formula, medium coverage, and long wearing. It's a breathable, luminous foundation that effortlessly builds and blends to eliminate the complexion with customizable, long wearing coverage. It has grapeseed oil and vegetable squalene, providing restoring, moisturizing benefits. It works with skin's natural texture for a smooth and enhanced finish. Alright, so let's get going and put some of this on. I'm super excited. Okay, so on this side of the face, we are going to go in with the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Foundation. And I think I will probably do like just a wear test as well, just with this one. I picked up the shade 15 and I have to say the shades were a little bit, like I couldn't even find a shade match to my Haus Labs on the Sephora website. Granted, I think what happens is when you have two newer or brand new foundations, that's going to happen. So I was lucky enough that my store actually had this in stock. And I will do a close-up, but as you can see, there is definitely like glitter or shimmer specks you can see in the foundation, which is a little bit worrisome to me. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. It does come, oh, wait a second. I thought it was a pump. Hold please. Okay, so that's kind of cool and very makeup artisty. You can use it as sort of like a dropper spatula like this and put it all over the face, or you can use it as a pump, which I actually prefer. I just have more control, I feel like, with the pump. Here is what it looks like. And I've heard good stuff, so I'm really hoping that this becomes, you know, one of my, it does feel very aloe-y, very lightweight. I'm just going to put this all over the face. I am going to use my hands. I don't want to get anything mixed up as far as brushes or sponges. So I am just going to use my hand to blend everything out. And there's no scent or anything. It's a very, very smooth. And I'm not seeing the shimmer that you see in the bottle like poke through on the skin. It almost feels like a very hydrating lotion when I'm applying it. Like I don't even feel like it's foundation that I'm putting on my skin right now, if that makes any sense. Like it just feels like, and it kind of smells like Ulta MD. It kind of smells like a skincare lotion ingredient. Okay, so now on this side I am going to go in with the Haus Labs. I do want to do like a swatch comparison as well. Okay, so that was the Haus Labs, and then this is the Makeup by Mario. right here. I do feel like the Haus Labs is less lotiony, more serum-y. It drips down a little easier, where the Mario has a more thicker feel. I mean, not by much, but just a more lotiony, like thicker skincare, whereas the Haus Labs feels more serumish, thinner. But I do feel like on my hand, the Makeup by Mario is more of like a gel. It does feel a little bit more hydrating, so that's interesting just on the hand. Okay, and so now I'm just putting the Haus Labs on with my hand. Very similar as far as shades. The Haus Labs off the bat looks more luminous for sure, but you are going to get that with like a serum-y finish. But I really thought the Makeup by Mario was going to be more luminous. Now I'm going to go in back in with more Haus Labs. I'm also going to go in with more Mario. Just give one more pump on each side, so we can really have more of like a full coverage to go on. Yeah, and even when I spread out the Haus Labs on the hand, it's more of a transparent base. And I will show you in a second, the Makeup by Mario is a thicker, I think more fuller coverage base. Again, just pumping the Makeup Mario. See how it does not spread out or like sort of shift down like the Haus Labs. And now I'm just going back in with that. Yeah, it's definitely way more fuller coverage. And I think you guys can see on my hand, it does sheer out, but it's less transparent than the Haus Labs. More of a fuller coverage for sure. Again, so this is the Haus Lab side. This is the Makeup by Mario SurrealSkin side. I'm going to let both sides settle in for a minute, 60 seconds or so, and see if we can like notice any huge or major differences. And I do have to say, so far they are very similar in some ways. Okay, so we are back. It's been about 60 seconds. I wanted to, like I said, I reapplied both sides, so they're both fresh. Neither one has been sitting on the face too long. So right off the cuff, I am noticing that the Makeup by Mario reminds me more of like the NARS foundation. It definitely like settles into the skin more. It's a tad bit, like I wouldn't say it's blurring because it's definitely not a blurring foundation, but if you notice, if you can look right here under the Haus Lab side, I will try to zoom in a little closer. The Haus Lab side and the Makeup by Mario side, there definitely is more coverage. Like I don't have concealer. Like I said, I don't have any makeup on. I don't have any primer on. This is just on bare skin, which I believe both of these foundations are supposed to be not intended for, but able to use on your bare face. So the Makeup by Mario side definitely provides a lot more coverage, in my opinion. I mean, probably a quarter more coverage than the Haus Labs, if we're going to be specific, right? And there's definitely a little bit more coverage, and then more of like an airbrushed sort of blurring feature that goes with the Makeup by Mario SurrealSkin. Now, the Haus Labs side, you definitely see the pores a little bit more. It's definitely more of a luminous, dewy foundation. It's medium coverage, but it's more on the natural light medium side compared to the Makeup by Mario. The Makeup by Mario, in my opinion, is more of a medium to full. You can build it up to get pretty full coverage, whereas the Haus Labs, you can build it up to be medium, and that's pretty much as far as it goes. However, the Haus Labs, if you're somebody that loves the glossy glass skin, you know, really luminous sort of vibe, that's what the Haus Labs gives you. You can see pores a little bit more with the Haus Labs. I wouldn't say the Haus Labs emphasizes pores because, as we all know, it is a beautiful foundation. It's been my go-to ever since I got it for the most part. So I still really love like the luminous, and as far as the way it feels, they both feel very weightless on the skin. They both feel like I'm wearing like no foundation. And as far as hydration, I do feel like the makeup by Mario is very hydrating. So is the Haus Labs. I would have to say I don't really notice a difference with hydration. They both feel very hydrating. The only differences I'm really able to see is the makeup by Mario is more of a satin finish with a little bit of luminosity, more of a blurring, more of a coverage type of foundation, whereas the Haus Labs is definitely more of like a your skin but better, glass skin, dewy, luminous vibe. You're gonna get less coverage, less blurring with the Haus Labs. With the Makeup by Mario Surreal, you're gonna get more blurring, more coverage, less luminous glass skin. So I will continue to test these out, but right now those are my initial thoughts and comparisons on these two foundations. I am going to apply a full face of makeup, and then I can also sort of state whether I feel like one side with makeup applies better or if I notice any cracking or anything like that. But so far, just on initial application, those are my thoughts comparing the two foundations. Okay, so I purposely did my full face. I didn't do anything with eyes. I want to just kind of like focus on the face today. Sort of fast forwarded through that so you guys could just like see the process, know that I'm doing everything on both sides, you know, no trickeries going on or anything like that. And yeah, so here are my thoughts. After applying powder and foundation, I honestly, I definitely do see more glow with the Haus Lab side. However, I really love, like, I don't know if you guys can notice, but after applying powder and everything, full face, this side is just a little bit more, like, not saggy, but like less lifted. There's less coverage underneath of my eyes. My dark circles are sort of shining through a little bit more with the Haus Labs. Also, my wrinkles are sort of more predominant. Whereas on this side, with the Makeup by Mario SurrealSkin, things are more lifted, more blurred. My under eye coverage is a lot better than the Haus Lab. Like, I really can't believe my under eye coverage. Like, that's the most dramatic thing I'm noticing is my under eye coverage with the Haus Labs is so much worse than my under eye coverage with the Makeup by Mario. And then also my wrinkles up here are, you can barely see them, whereas with the Haus Labs, you know, they are more predominant, and like my whole face just looks more lifted on this side. So I don't know, I still really love the Haus Labs, and I think it's whatever your preference is. If you have more texture, if you need a little bit more fuller coverage, but you still want that hydrating touch of luminance, then I would suggest going with the Makeup by Mario. And also, like, if you have more mature skin, I would suggest the Makeup by Mario because it really does a really good job of blurring a little bit more, lifting the cheeks and the face up and the skin up. And if you are younger and you want more of that glass skin, really dewy, luminous, just like sun-kissed, like skin but better, then I would suggest going with the Haus Labs. I will continue to use both. Like, I don't think that Haus Labs is a bad foundation by any means, but in this battle, in this competition, I would definitely have to pick the Makeup by Mario. I just think when you look at this side of my face, when you look at this side of my face versus this side of my face, like, there is a clear difference. I mean, let me know down in the comments below, you guys, if I'm just like totally crazy, but I definitely see a clear difference, and I really love this side more with applying all the same face makeup. Like, I like the way the Makeup by Mario is looking more. As far as the way they feel, the Haus Labs is a little tinge more lightweight feeling, but you can barely notice the difference. They're both very hydrating foundations, both very skin-like. Like, I don't feel like I have foundation on either side. So they are very similar, but like I said, if you're somebody with texture, if you need that fuller coverage or just more like of an airbrush blurred look, you need that lift, I would definitely recommend the Makeup by Mario. These are first thoughts, first impressions, but I'm pretty wowed with this SurrealSkin foundation, and it's definitely one I will continue to use, and it may just be beating out my Haus Labs. We'll see. Like I said, there's days that I really like the Luminous, and I love my Sephora S Clean foundation, so, but I do have to say the Makeup by Mario I like better than the Hourglass, better than the Lancome Tint Idol Glow. You're just not going to get like the glow that you get with the Lancome and the Haus Labs. You're not going to get as luminous as a finish, but I really like this Makeup by Mario. Out of all the foundations, I think this and Haus Labs and my Sephora are like top 3, and then the Lancome and the Hourglass. So yeah, if you want something a little bit, you know, elevated, more elevated than your Hourglass, if you bought that, and also it's less expensive than the Hourglass, and I think more expensive than the Lancome too. It's pretty comparable in price with the Haus Labs. I don't think there's that much of a difference. I will double check and update in the comments, but I don't remember the Haus Labs being crazy. You know what? Let me just double check. Okay, yeah, the Makeup by Mario is actually a little bit cheaper, but only by $3. The Haus Lab is $45. The Makeup by Mario is $42. So honestly, they're both great, but I really am loving the Makeup by Mario more right now. So if you, and it's winter here, although like right now it feels like summer here. It's weird. It's been going from like 50 to 20 degrees. But I do think the Haus Labs, you know, would probably be more suited for like summertime, and the makeup, I don't know, they're both great. Like you could wear either in the summertime, either in the wintertime. They're both hydrating. They're both very skin-like feeling. I just think the Makeup by Mario does a better job. All right, you guys, sound off below. Let me know your comments on which one you like more, which one you like less, whether you're going to pick this up, or if you have the Haus Labs, if you have the Makeup by Mario. Just sound off below on your favorite foundations and what you are thinking about this new foundation. And as always, I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye.